I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. There's yet another bump in the road regarding the sheriff's office occupying more space in the Flagler County Courthouse. Clerk of Courts Tom Bexley blocked construction crews from beginning work in the courthouse this week. He tells WNZF his decision was more procedural.
I was a little uncomfortable with the actual project beginning when we didn't kind of know the staging of it, how long it was going to take, and the order of the process. So that's all it is.
Bexley says he wants an interlocal agreement in writing about the renovations and associated costs before construction moves forward.
I just spoke with some of the leadership over at the county, and I've been assured that on or before the Monday meeting that we would have an agreement of some kind in place and that work would restart on Tuesday. So we're very positive about this, and we know that we'll come to terms as we did before, and life will go on.
At 9 a.m. on WNZF, following Flagler's Morning News, hear from Sheriff Rick Staley on Free for All Friday.
This portion of Flagler's Morning News brought to you by the Daytona Beach International Airport, Delta Airlines nonstop to Atlanta, and now nonstop service to New York City via American Airlines.
It'll define our future.
Palm Coast City Councilman Nick Klufis says the city is counting on its new Chief Innovation Officer, Don Cooley.
We have $10 million worth of fiber optic cable on the ground, and it's pretty much the diamond in the rough of Palm Coast.
Cooley was hired July 1st to oversee all aspects of the city's fiber infrastructure. Palm Coast is one of several communities across the nation that owns its own internet service provider.
These communities are able to accelerate their technology adoption, but also they create environments that are more likely to attract technology enthusiasts and also telecommuters. And right now, Palm Coast is underserved from the two service providers that are in the city of Palm Coast. So we are ripe for the situation, and we have really taken advantage of our position.
Cooley comes to Palm Coast from Ashland, Oregon, where he managed their fiber network and achieved national recognition for enacting smart city initiatives. Since he started the job, Cooley says he's done an IT and telecommunications infrastructure analysis and has already identified areas for improvement. On his to-do list, taking the city's drone program to the next level. Palm Coast has a new voice to represent it to the public. John R. King has more.
Michael Shoddy is the new communications officer for the city. He has lived in Palm Coast for almost a decade and says he already considered himself a huge advocate for the area before taking the position in late July. Reporting to city manager Matthew Morton, Shoddy manages a small team of communications professionals and says while being a storyteller is chief among his responsibilities, his main job is to oversee all the city's communications and to help build better relationships with the community.
I think the biggest challenge is just the city is going through a lot of different transitions and making sure that nothing falls through the cracks first and foremost, but also sort of going forward using the latest and best tools, but doing so in a way that's innovative, doing so in a way that is adopted by all these people who've been doing things the same way for a while, but communications is changing every minute, and everyone who's in communications knows that, but sometimes cities move at a bit slower pace, but I'm ready for that challenge.
Prior to becoming the city's communications officer, Shoddy ran his own digital consulting business in Palm Coast. Shoddy was also an award-winning sports writer and spent nearly a decade covering the National Football League for organizations such as Bleacher Report, FanDuel, Forbes, and Sporting News. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John R. King.
Dozens participate in a local suicide awareness event. Tony Magoo has the story.
More than 50 people gathered at Wadsworth Park in Flagler Beach on Wednesday to promote suicide prevention by walking across the State Road 100 bridge. Some were friends, others were strangers, but all were there to help create awareness for mental health needs in Flagler County just one day after World Suicide Prevention Day on September 10th. September is also National Suicide Awareness Month. With a suicide rate that ranks 9th out of 67 counties in Florida, the evidence shows the need in Flagler for more funding and services dedicated to suicide prevention. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.